we can go ahead and jump into my review for Halloween Ends, the final chapter in David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's new Halloween series, chat. These films take place after the original 1978 Halloween, ignoring the various other sequels and the Thorn trilogy and the HBO trilogy and Season of the Witch and the Rob Zombie films. It charts its own path, chat. And, lots been said about this movie. Lots been said about this series. To kind of give you a brief overview of just how I feel about David Gordon Green, Dan McBride's tenure on the Halloween franchise. For one thing, I absolutely adored Halloween 2018. I thought it was great. I thought it was a return to form for the series. I love that they gave so much for the characters, so much things for the characters to do, including Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode, dealing with her PTSD, the estrangement from her daughter, the odd, awkward relationship with her granddaughter. And the series also did something that the Halloween franchise wasn't able to do in a number of years, which was make Michael Myers scary again. And it's just completely directed and had fun characters. And when they actually died, when some of them died, you actually cared. Whether or not they had like a profound amount of depth, they had personality and they stood out and you liked them. It had a lot of great moments, chat. And I think it had a lot of really good humor in the film. It was one of my favorite movies of 2018. And yeah, it brought the franchise back to prominence. I personally, chat, and this might be controversial but I truly believe that Halloween 2018 is one of the best slasher films of all time. Certainly one of the best ones of the 20-teens. And then we got Halloween Kills. In 2021. And listen, I was very excited for it. I think a lot of people were excited for it, especially after Halloween 2018. Halloween 2018 had its detractors, but I think most people really enjoyed the movie. Kills, well, I didn't hate it. It was definitely a disappointment. It just seemed to solely just focus on Michael Myers just killing people. That's what really all was about. They kind of sidelined Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode. You just had a lot of characters doing dumb things, and that was really frustrating. It just wasn't really interesting. Some cool kills and a wonderful score, beautiful cinematography, all that. But yeah, just the story was kind of dull to me. It was boring, and I didn't like that they just seemingly didn't have enough material for the other characters that weren't Michael Myers. And that brings us to Halloween Ends. I've been talking for a long time, like, okay, how are they going to end this trilogy, or I guess quadrilogy if you count the John Carpenter film? It's especially after Kills was, I think, disappointing for a lot of people, including myself. The movie is, obviously there was rumors circulating about the film. There was going to be a very different type of Halloween movie, that it was going to be divisive. And listen, there's been a lot of stuff coming out about a lot of rumors, a lot of hearsay. But, before I, jump into my overall thoughts, kind of give you a premise of the film. It takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018. Both Halloween 2018 Kills take place in the same night, Halloween of 2018. It was 4 years later after Laurie Strode's last encounter with Michael Myers. She's living with her granddaughter Allison, who lost both of her parents in each respective film, and she's been dealing with her grief. She's gotten therapy. She's writing a memoir about her experiences. She's in a much better place. But then you also have this other character named Corey Cunningham, who has also suffered tragedy, and he's become this town pariah, basically. And it ties into both Laurie Strode's story and also the story of Michael Myers. That's kind of the general premise overall. There's a lot of secrecy around this movie, and I understand. And for good reason, because it does certain things that I feel like are going to be controversial for Halloween fans. But listen, there have been a lot of reviews that have already been released that you've already seen probably for Halloween Ends. Many of them are saying that this isn't a true Halloween movie, or in some cases it's the worst entry in the entire franchise, which I think that's ridiculous. Listen, I just recently watched Halloween Resurrection. It is not Halloween. It's not bad like Halloween Resurrection. It's not bad like The Curse of Michael Myers or the Rob Zombie duology. It's nowhere near that. No, not at all. Not at all. I think that's bullshit. I personally think that's ridiculous, but whatever. That's how I feel. However, after seeing the film, I have to admit, I really appreciate that this movie, the second in the franchise, perhaps since Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is the Halloween movie that does not feature Michael Myers, it chooses to be something different, while at the same time giving respect and a definitive ending to the characters of Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, respectively, which the franchise kind of has never done before. They've given them endings, not very good ones, especially for Laurie Strode. This one, they do so, and I feel like their respective endings are handled very well. I like that the film showcases Haddonfield as this really sad, almost stigmatized place because of the events of the last two movies of 2018 Kills, and also the events of 1978 that has haunted the town for so many decades. I mean, so many people in the movie, they've become bitter, they're angry, they're resentful. It's just like this fog is hanging over everyone. David Gordon Green does a good job of capturing that, while also showing people like Laurie Strode, like Jamie Lee Curtis's character, that her and her granddaughter are trying to move past all the trauma. Like in those original two movies, she had those two movies, Laurie Strode, she was indulging in it. It made up so much of her life for over 40 years. In this case, she's like, I can't be that person anymore. And I like that. Laurie's a person that's actively trying to deal with her trauma in a very healthy and productive way, while also creating, this really nice environment for her granddaughter, and her various friends. To me, and I know this guy's probably getting a lot of shit online right now, and I think it's very undeserved, but to me, the real standout of this cast is Ronan Campbell as the character of Corey Cunningham. So much of the film's story is focused on him and what he's going through. The film opens with him in my opinion, a really good opening 10 minutes. So I was like, hey, what is this? What's this going to be? And I thought that was handled very, very well. It was very creepy and filled with a lot of tension. He's a character that's dealing with being a pariah, a town pariah, and is positioned as a target in place of Michael Myers' absence in the town, in the movie itself. Listen, the biggest point of controversy in the movie is the lack of screen time for Michael Myers. But there are it's interesting, but there are various reasons for that, and it was a very bold and brave choice. I don't want to say too much, but I like that they show that Michael Myers, he is not what he once was. He's a shadow of his former self. The shape, this monster, he's old, he's decrepit, he's falling apart. He can't maintain it anymore. This is a Michael Myers that we've never seen before. And personally, it was refreshing and a welcome one. And it makes sense because people have been going on. It's like, the man is, even in 2018, he's like 61. And you're like, yeah, he's built like a fucking, like a bull and everything. He's like 6'5" and can throw people around. But this one's like, all of his injuries, everything he's ever gone through, all his experiences, it's finally caught up with him. And I really like that we see him in a way that I'm like, I don't think we've ever seen the character positioned like this. I thought that was really cool. Also, on the technical side of things, I think the cinematography across all of David Gordon Green's Halloween movies is great, and the film score is impeccable. Like, I want to own this on vinyl. It's a goddamn John Carpenter, his son Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. They did an amazing job on the film score. I mean, knocked out of the goddamn park. So many good. I mean, you get that synthesized and everything, but there's some other wonderful pieces in this as well. It's like, ooh, got a little chills at times, Chad. Now, listen, as much as I'm praising the film, it suffers from a few annoying tropes, including, again, super overly aggressive, stereotypically evil bullies and characters, unlikable characters that just set up to be mean, which is weird to me because in 2018, you had these characters that while they didn't have like a lot of depth, but they stood out. You know, I always pointed to the one sequence in the film when you're with the babysitter, with like Allison's friend who was a babysitter. She's babysitting that little kid, and I love the dynamic and the back and forth that they had. I thought that was great. And when when she dies in that movie, it's like, oh, it's like I don't want her to die because I love her dynamic. And she wasn't like your typical bimbo. She wasn't like mean. No, she had a good relationship with this kid. She was a good babysitter. She's good at her job, and she was just in the path of Michael Myers, and it was sad. And I was like, God damn it! And I felt something when she died. I didn't want her to die. With the movie, what this movie does, it makes the mistake that many other slasher films and Halloween films do, is that they're just setting up people just to die, because it's like they're just being rude. And some of them I'm like, I get, because you see all the people in the town which are just like, they're fucking mad, and because they just have this depression, and that to me works. But then you have like other people that are just psychopaths or just rude, and it's like, okay, you're just rude so you can die later on. I'm just like, you don't need to do that. And the thing is, it's so weird to me because they didn't do that in 2018. And you spend so much time with these characters, and it's just not necessary. And it feels like padding. The movie's like an hour 50 minutes. I mean, probably 5 minutes of it's an hour 55, 5 minutes of credits, and it's like, you can cut some of this stuff out. And another thing that's probably going to stick in some people's craw, it also seemingly contradicts Halloween Kills. And, I mean, spoilers for that, Halloween Kills, that movie, chat. Halloween Kills kind of sets up Michael Myers as being a supernatural being, literally feeding off of the hatred and evil of the people of Haddonfield. And I'm like, oh, shit, so now he's more powerful than ever. But then in this movie, he's not, and so I'm kind of confused. Like, I like seeing old, decrepit, can't do it anymore Michael Myers. That's really interesting to me. But in the last film, he's like the most powerful he's ever been, outside of the Thorn trilogy, where he's a goddamn possessed by some Celtic demon or whatever. But it's weird. It's a bit of a contradiction. And that's going to bother some people. And I'm like, yeah. And to me, it makes me realize, okay, you guys, either you didn't, it's like, yeah, we have 3 films that we're going to be doing, and it's this one story. I'm like, was it though? Or did you just do these one after the other and see like, all right, let's see what we're going to do for the next one? Like, I don't know. I'm almost thinking like with Halloween Kills, they made that movie and they saw the backlash and went, okay, then we're going to switch. We're going to pivot and do something different. And maybe that this is the result of that, perhaps, because it doesn't feel really connected to Kills all that much. If anything, it feels more connected to 2018, where he was very much a man, powerful man, but a man. He's flesh and blood. He's just evil, not supernatural. And so I was very confused with that, despite liking the result and how he's portrayed in Ends. I mean, in terms of the individual characters, Jamie Lee Curtis is Laurie Strode. She's great. I like that we see this Laurie. She's actively trying to be happy and dealing with her issues and problems head on. There's a number of great scenes. Even when she's just by herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's such a well-accomplished actress, and she is in full command of this character. She knows this character. So there are so many badass, like, people are going, listen, if you were disappointed that Laurie Strode was not in Halloween Kills a lot, and I was disappointed too, rest assured, she has a lot of great scenes, a lot of great moments with several characters in film, not just Michael Myers. Don't worry, Chad. You're getting that fucking confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, all right? That's in the marketing, okay? We'll talk about the marketing in a bit. That's another controversy, and I feel like I have to ding that for that, because the marketing's a little deceptive. She's great. Every scene she's in, she's wonderful, either when she's like flirting with Will Patton, who returns as Deputy Hawkins. I really like their scenes together. They're very cute. And when she's confronting a certain character who's going through a really dark period, and she's like, you got to stop this. I mean, she's great. She's great. She doesn't have a single weak moment, in my opinion. Yeah, and like I said, with Deputy Hawkins, Will Patton's just a great character actor. So anytime when he was in Halloween 2018, he was great. Kills, when I was like, oh, I'm glad you didn't kill him. Like that he came back. I like one of the better moments, one of the better dramatic moments in Halloween Kills is all the scenes between Will Patton and Jamie Lee Curtis. They do have a natural chemistry, and I like where their relationship goes in this movie. I think that was pretty cool. And then, I forget the actress who plays Allison Nelson, Andy Matchak. I like her, and I like her connection to Rowan Campbell's character of Corey. They're similar. They're different and similar in a number of ways. They are both looked at in the community as freaks, weirdos, and they kind of find each other, and they're able to empathize with one another and each other's experiences, and that's that connection. You get that. I bought the mutual attraction between the two of them. It didn't feel too forced. I like that, and they have chemistry with each other. I thought they were quite good, and she was good. I like that we see Allison. She's grown up and she's hardened. She's not happy. Like we're in the even 2018, the beginning of that movie, and she seemed to have a relatively normal life, just dealing with family dysfunction with her grandmother, between her grandmother and her mother, played by Judy Greer. Both victims of trauma. Thank you, Dana Ware. That's great. They're both victims of trauma. It's just each other's trauma is a little different. They bring that up, how each person's trauma is different, but they can both commiserate over that. And then, like I said, Chad, I know I'm sure the guy is getting destroyed on social media, but I don't think he deserves it because of the role he plays. And I think Rowan Campbell as Corey Cunningham, certainly his character is going to be controversial in the Halloween franchise and the lore, but I really like this character. I liked what they did with him. I liked the path he went down. I like his scenes with Laurie Strode and Allison. He has another relationship in the movie and an interaction with a certain person that I thought it's something really new to the franchise. And I was like, okay, how is this going to play out? And I thought it was cool. I thought, I can't say too much, but there's a duo in this movie that I didn't expect, and I was digging the duo. I was like, this is fascinating to watch. I want to see more. Actually, I wanted more of it. I want to dive deeper. But what I got was pretty cool. And again, you have two people playing the Shape. You have two people playing Michael Myers, Chat. Nick Castle, who of course played the character originally in the 78 Halloween. He returns here in some scenes, but it's mostly James Jude Courtney in the role. And it's Michael. It's Michael doing the same Michael things you've seen. He's just slower. He's older. He's fallen apart, and I thought that was really cool to see a weakened version of this character, which we've never seen that. And I was like, God, this is fascinating. Where he's literally he can't fucking do it anymore. He can't lift the knife. I thought that was cool, and that I know that's going to piss people off. And I'm like, okay, but do you just want him to do the same thing he's been doing for nearly 40 fucking years, over 40 years? I'm like, I like seeing a Michael this way. And don't worry, Michael is still killing people. That happens in the movie, but he's not as fast as he once was. He's not as strong as he once was, Jack. He's a little slower. And I like that. Listen, at the end of the day, this is a divisive movie, and I understand why. It's not focused on Michael Myers. It's not. He's in it. It's like Season of the Witch. It's like if you made a Halloween movie and it's about someone else, but also Michael Myers is there. He's in the background. He's related to things that are going on, and they deal with him and Laurie Strode and everything, but it's more focused on this other thing. I'm like, I really like that. I thought that was cool. Because his time is done, and I thought that was interesting. Yeah, it's more about the idea of the idea of evil being cultivated in a person over time, and it being unleashed. Michael Myers is one of those forms of evil in the movie, but this movie is saying that the movie is saying that anyone can become the boogeyman, anyone can become the Shape, and I thought that was cool. That was cool. I really, really dug that. Another thing I criticize, certainly the marketing is deceptive. And I wish it wasn't deceptive because, they're like, hey, it's the final battle between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And that battle is in there, but that's only a part of the movie. There's a lot other, there's much more to the movie than just that. And I feel like people are going in just for that. You're going to be disappointed. So I'm letting you know it's not just about that. That's there, but there's a whole other storyline that I think is really good. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. See how it is, and just go in there learning that. Okay, like I said, I think it's really cool. I think that's kind of the point that David Gordon Green, Dan McBride are trying to say is that anyone can be evil. Anyone can be a boogeyman. Anyone can be a Shape, and I really like that. I thought that was great. So yeah, for me, listen, it has its issues, has its problems, and again, I hate to spend time with these annoying characters and these bullies. It's like, come on, stop it. No offense to the actors. Again, it's what's written for them. It's how they're being directed. It's just like, Jesus Christ, they're psychotic. It's like, it's unnecessary. You go too far with the town's resentment and vitriol and anger. It's like, yeah, that's a little too much. Focus that in one character. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think this is a much stronger entry than Halloween Kills. It's not nearly as good as Halloween 2018, but it's got a lot of great things for it and a lot of bold ideas and choices that, sadly, I don't think a lot of people are giving it a chance. And so, yeah, I would give it a high matinee. It's a high matinee for me, chap. I dug the movie. I want to go see it again. Yeah. But that's my opinion on Halloween Ends, chat. I imagine it's a divisive one. I'm probably in the minority, but go with an open mind. Go in realizing like this is a Halloween movie that's not focused on Michael Myers, and I feel like you'll come out liking it maybe a little bit more than you would have than just thinking it's about Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, because it's not. It's not that. That's my opinion, Jeff.